In the late 1980s, one company decided that being fast was no longer enough. They wanted to build the fastest car on Earth, not the fastest Ferrari, not the fastest Porsche. The fastest car, period. That company was Bugatti, and the machine that redefined the hypercar world forever was the Bugatti Veyron. This is the full story of the car that broke engineering limits, rewrote performance benchmarks, and forced the entire automotive industry to rethink what was possible. The story begins with Ferdinand Piëch, then chairman of the Volkswagen Group. Piëch was obsessed with engineering supremacy. He did not want incremental improvement. He wanted a statement. During a high-speed train journey in the late 1990s, he reportedly sketched an idea that seemed almost unrealistic at the time. A road car with 1,000 horsepower, a top speed exceeding 400 kilometers per hour, complete luxury inside, absolute stability at maximum velocity, and full reliability like any normal production vehicle. In the late 1990s, those targets sounded impossible. Supercars of that era were struggling to approach 350 kilometers per hour. Most manufacturers considered 1,000 horsepower excessive and impractical for road use. But Piëch was determined. Volkswagen had already revived the Bugatti brand, a historic name associated with art, speed, and exclusivity. Now they needed a modern masterpiece worthy of that legacy. Engineers faced immediate challenges. Generating 1,000 horsepower from a reliable road, legal engine required innovation beyond conventional thinking. The solution was radical. Instead of a traditional V12 or V10, Bugatti engineers created an 8-liter quad, turbocharged W16 engine. Essentially, two narrow-angle Vate engines combined into one block. 4 turbochargers forced massive amounts of air into the combustion chambers. The result was 1,001 horsepower and 1,250 Newton-meters of torque. Push the limit even further to 431 kilometers per hour, reclaiming the record in spectacular fashion. But numbers alone do not explain the Veyron's significance. Unlike many extreme hypercars, the Veyron was shockingly civilized at normal speeds. The suspension adjusted automatically depending on speed. In standard mode, it behaved almost like a Grand Tourer. Comfortable seats, high-quality leather, polished aluminum details, advanced infotainment for its time. It could be driven calmly through city traffic without overheating or stalling. That dual personality defined it. At the press of a button and insertion of a special speed key, the Veyron transformed. The ride height lowered. The rear wing adjusted for aerodynamic efficiency. The car prepared itself for maximum velocity. Few machines in automotive history have demonstrated such a dramatic split between luxury and extreme performance. Financially, the Veyron was not profitable in traditional terms. Reports suggest that development costs were enormous, and each car may have been sold at a loss when factoring research and engineering investment. But profitability was not the primary goal. The Veyron was a technological showcase. It demonstrated what the Volkswagen Group was capable of achieving. It elevated the Bugatti brand from historical nostalgia to modern engineering dominance. Production numbers were limited to maintain exclusivity. Only 450 units were built across various versions, including coupes and Grand Sport open-top variants. Special editions honored racing drivers and historic Bugatti figures, increasing desirability among collectors. As years passed, the Veyron's cultural impact became clearer. It ignited the hypercar arms race. Manufacturers like Koenigsegg, Hennessy, and others began pushing boundaries further. But raw power was only one piece of the puzzle. At speeds exceeding 400 kilometers per hour, aerodynamic stability becomes critical. A slight imbalance can cause catastrophic instability. The Veyron was shaped in wind tunnels for years. Its iconic two-tone body design was not purely aesthetic. It separated airflow zones and helped manage cooling requirements. And cooling was a major problem. At top speed, the engine generated enormous heat. The car required 10 radiators to manage engine temperature, oil cooling, intercooling, transmission temperature, and air conditioning. Yes, air conditioning. Because unlike stripped-down supercars, the Veyron had to provide comfort. That was part of the mission. The gearbox presented another engineering challenge. No existing transmission could handle 1,000 horsepower reliably in a road car. Bugatti partnered with Ricardo to develop a 7-speed dual-clutch transmission capable of managing the immense torque while delivering smooth shifts. This was cutting-edge technology in the early 2000s. The drivetrain also featured permanent, all-wheel drive to ensure traction under brutal acceleration. Without it, the car would have been uncontrollable. The tire problem was perhaps the most extreme. At over 400 kilometers per hour, standard performance tires would disintegrate due to centrifugal forces. Michelin had to develop bespoke, run-flat tires specifically for the Veyron, capable of withstanding extraordinary stress. Even then, Bugatti limited top speed runs to protect the tires and required specialized installation procedures. The cost of replacing a full set was staggering. When the Bugatti Veyron 16.4 finally entered production in 2005, the world was stunned. 0 to 100 kilometers per hour in about 2.5 seconds. 0 to 200 kilometers per hour in under 7.5 seconds. Top speed officially recorded at 407 kilometers per hour, making it the fastest production car in the world at the time. Later versions, including the Super Sport, the concept of a 1,000 horsepower production car went from absurd to achievable. The Veyron normalized 4-digit horsepower. It forced competitors to innovate. It changed expectations permanently. Criticism existed. Some enthusiasts argued that the Veyron was too heavy, too insulated, too engineered by committee. They preferred raw machines like the Porsche Carrera GT or Ferrari F40. But that criticism overlooked the core achievement. The Veyron was not designed to be raw. It was designed to conquer physics while maintaining refinement. That was its unique identity. When Bugatti later introduced the Chiron, it built upon the Veyron's foundation with even greater power and aerodynamic sophistication. But the Veyron remains the pioneer. It was the first to cross the psychological barrier of 400 kilometers per hour in a production car. It proved that engineering ambition, backed by sufficient resources and relentless commitment, could overcome what once seemed impossible. Today, the Bugatti Veyron stands as a symbol of excess, ambition, and technological mastery. It represents a period when internal combustion engineering reached an almost absurd level of complexity. 10 radiators, 4 turbochargers, a 16-cylinder engine, all working in harmony to deliver a driving experience unlike anything before it. In an era increasingly focused on electrification and sustainability, the Veyron feels like the peak expression of combustion-era ambition. A machine built not because it was necessary, but because it was possible. And in achieving what many believed could not be done, it secured its place as one of the most important hypercars ever created.